What up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Morales Jr. and we got a special guest tonight. We got pro boxer Giovanni El Cabron Cabrera.
What
How's it
up?
going, Gio?
It's going good, man. Just wrapped up training, back at the house, relaxing, enjoying my Friday.
That's right. That's right. First question we got for you. It's the most commonly asked boxing question, but we still like to ask it anyway. And it's, how did you get into boxing?
Um, well, really growing up, I moved around a lot, and I was always the new kid at school, always smaller kid at school, so I always had to fight, and yeah, when my parents got separated, I moved to the south side of Chicago, and I was fighting every day in Chicago, and just gangs in the schools and that kind of thing. And finally, when I was able to get away from that, I moved to the west suburbs of Chicago, and I was like, yo, never again, man, never again, So that's when I got into boxing. I was at a friend's house, and it was about 2009, and I think it was like Manny Pacquiao versus Miguel Cotto, and everyone was like, it was just incredible to see this guy. They were talking about how he moved up so many weight classes, and I was like, yo, everybody's like fucking admires and loves and
Mhm.
respects this guy. He's like a tiny guy. Like, how is this possible? I was like, and I admired that so much, and I was like, I want to be like that. So I got into boxing after that.
Awesome. And we got a few comments here. Dose of Boxing says, Saludos El Cabron.
Hey, saludos.
He says, thanks for showing love at the Curiel card. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely,
That's
brother. You
that's
gotta support the homies, man. Raul's a badass. He's definitely gonna be world champ.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of badass, your nickname El Cabron is pretty badass. Can you tell us how you got that nickname?
Oh man, well, a lot of people don't know this, but I think it's kind of time they found out. But you know what? I really don't know. I really don't know if I should.
Let it go.
I really don't know if I should say this right now. It's crazy, and you know what? I'm just gonna say it because it's just the truth. It's just the truth. And when Ozzy, I don't even know if I should say it, man, out of respect, but at the same time, like, this guy's retired, so it doesn't really matter. But growing up, he was one of my icons, one of my heroes, Manny Pacquiao. It's one of the greatest of all time. And um, yeah, man, like when I first got to LA, I had a meeting with Freddie Roach, and Freddie Roach, I went up to him, and this was gonna see if we clicked or not, or if he was gonna be my trainer or not. And he says, "Hey kid, well, like, what's your record?" I'm 18-0. He says, "Okay." He's like, "Have you won any national titles?" And I'm like, "No," but I was Golden Gloves champion. And I got a bronze medal at the National Olympic tournament, and he was not impressed. He was like, "Okay, well, I don't know. We'll see." 2 days later, Manny Pacquiao arrives, and he says, "Hey, Gio, Manny wants to meet you. Maybe if he likes you, you could spar him on Saturday." Because I was about the same height as Earl Spence, maybe, and I was a
Mhm.
little heavy then. So I was fucking like ecstatic. I trained. I stayed after training, and 5 minutes before Pacquiao arrives, he says, "Hey, um, uh, Manny just fired both of his sparring partners. He wants to go like 5 rounds with you right now." And I was just like, holy shit, man. Like, is this happening or what, So he says, "You want to do it or what?" And I was like, well, shit, this is the point of no return here, man. What am I going to look like? This is Freddie Roach asking me if I want to spar, the icon,
Yeah.
my hero growing up. So I was like, time to put my money where my mouth is. Let's go. So we laced up the gloves, and I gave Pacquiao hell of a sparring session, and they hired me because I was very awkward, and I was hard to reach. So yeah, man, we started sparring, and one particular day, see, I don't even know, man. I don't even know if I should do it. I don't know if I should do it, but
Got me on the edge of my seat, Gio.
let's just say, I heard him with a punch. I heard him with a punch,
Yeah.
and after that, by the way, he hurt me with a punch like a week later. He knocked me down with a body shot. So I guess I'll just say it, man. I knocked down Manny Pacquiao.
There you go.
I
And it looks like he said he got his get back a week later.
he got me back a week later, and after that, this photographer, I think his name was Miguel Salazar, who has always been around when Pacquiao's training camps have been around, and he says, "Hey, hey, no mames way, no mames way. You know what? No one has ever done that. They're gonna remember you always. Eres el cabrón, way. Eres cabrón." And I was like, boom. I was like, I've been waiting my whole fucking career for someone to give me the nickname, and I don't know if he quite gave me the nickname, but I just something just clicked, and I said, "That's me, motherfucker. That's me." And so eres
Yeah,
cabrón, and sometimes you gotta just fucking show them.
that's a great backstory for the nickname. Very fitting. A few more like comments here. So Sports and Tunes says, sorry, couldn't make it. Work in your house. Gotta get that money. Sports and Tunes.
Yes,
And
sir.
then does the boxing exclusive news. Yep. And then MC Sports Show says, Gio, much love from Mr. Clinic in Chicago.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Good to hear
Windy,
from you, man. I hope you're
Windy
doing
City.
good. Hope you're
It,
doing good, man.
it looks like Dose of Boxing is laughing over here with that story.
Hey man, like I've been so iffy to tell that story because man, it was crazy, man. I couldn't fucking believe it. I thought that I was fired instantly,
Mhm.
and Freddie just smiled and he said, "Oh well, I told him you shouldn't be fucking around, like you shouldn't be playing around and sparring." And but the funny thing is, I wanted, out of respect, his fight was coming up. I didn't want to say that, and it's been long enough, I think.
Yeah.
And those guys uploaded, like whoever was in his camp, they uploaded the video of me getting rocked with a body shot and sent to the ground. So like, hey, fair
Yeah.
is fair. The guy, he's retired now. He's doing exhibition fight. It's fair to say. So.
Absolutely. And then Mac Photo 33 from South Central Boxing says saludo compa de South Central Boxing.
Hey, saludos a todos South Central, man. Gracias por el apoyo.
Saludos. And Gio, I know your box rate still lists you as living in Chicago, but are you actually living in LA now?
Yeah, I've been living in LA for the last 2 years, right here in Hollywood. Just blocks from the gym. I got to be where the action is. Like I said on Wednesday, I just they called me. They said, "Hey, Devin Haney wants to spar. You down?" I said, "Yeah, hell yeah, let's go, man." Like I want that work. Devin is a damn skilled fighter. I'm learning a lot from that guy. I'm a bit older, but these guys have way more experience than me. I started at 16. I started at 16, and yeah, man, I've been working my ass up to catch up to everybody, and so far, I think I'm doing pretty good, man, skill wise.
Absolutely. And how is it like training with Freddie Roach and just getting all that great work at the Wild Card Boxing Gym?
Oh man, it's badass, man, badass. From the way that he wraps hands, I don't know if anyone's seen the way Freddie wraps hands, but the first time that I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like he does like this looping thing with the string, and he pulls it. Pretty fascinating shit. Just like the level of experience, the level of calmness is like unparalleled to anybody that I've seen, man. So it's yeah, man, and everyone from all over the world, world champions come and they go there for sparring. So it's great that I don't have to go anywhere. They all come to us.
Yeah. Great place to be. And then those of us that it's time to upgrade to El Chingon de Chingones. Gotta drop Haney next. Keep an eye out for that. And then Mac 433, just giving the pound right there, showing love. And then I want to talk about your pro debut, Gio. Back in April 2016 in Elk Grove, Illinois. What were your emotions heading to that fight? Were there any nerves?
Um, yeah, there was some nerves. There was some nerves, but man, it was a really cool. It was like one of the local promoters, Bobby Hits. Hits Boxing. I believe it was, yeah, Elk Grove. It was in the north side of this big banquet hall, and I sold it. I was selling a bunch of tickets like young boxers do, and like I had all my people there, all my friends who have been waiting for years. They saw my rise as an amateur, and you know what? It was just like it was easy. It was just easy, man. I knew that I was meant for that, and the opponent, I knew wasn't the greatest opponent, and I took care of business, man. It was a little bit too easy, and I didn't like that aspect of it, but it was it is what it is. I had to get the jitters out the way, just like most young fighters do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of taking care of business, I want to talk about your fight with Gabriel Flores Jr. I think that's when a lot of people started kind of getting to know you more and more. You humbled him, just to say the least. How can you tell us about that build up for that fight, and then how satisfied were you with winning the way you did?
I mean, the build up was cool for the fight. I honestly didn't know much about him at all because not to be any kind of way, but I really only like to study the top fighters because that's my target. I want to fight them. I want to beat them, and he was a good kid coming up, but um, yeah, I knew he had a big name. He was like the youngest boxer to ever sign a promotional contract, which was exciting for me because I'm like, I like that shit. I want to fight someone good. If it makes me a little nervous, that's how I know the fight is good. I don't like, because I think not being nervous a little bit or nothing being on the line makes a boxer lazy. Like I need a fire lit under my ass to really get me going, to really motivate me to train. But yeah, he had like a big reputation behind him. Huge following in Stockton. But yeah, I think he was always a little cocky, and I had heard from a few people that he was like that, and after what Bernardo Lopez did, I was like, okay. So what he doesn't like is that attitude back. He doesn't like the attitude back towards him. So I was like, I know what I got to do. Like Bernardo showed it like beautifully. So you got to go in there and not give a fucking boom right from the beginning. Just throw it. And there was a moment before in the corner or in the well, yeah, and then the not shaking my hand thing, that was funny because I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't care because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, look, we're gonna fucking fight each other. Like to me, it's funny when people try because it's serious. It's serious. Like we look at each other like, what's up? Like all the face offs for me when someone looks at me, I'm like, okay, you better be ready. But I'm not trying to impose anything on them, because I think that's fucking silly. Like we're gonna take care of business in the ring no matter what. If you're trying to intimidate me that hard, I can tell what you're doing by the way that you're looking at me. If you're serious and mad and angry, okay, that's fine. But if you're like trying to impose that on me, I'm like that's weak because you're trying to do something out of your control to intimidate me because somehow you're trying to, I don't know, to me it's insecurity. You're trying to level it out somehow with that,
Yeah.
and that's fucking dumb to me. So I think he was trying to do that to me. So I was like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, all right. I tried to shake his hand. He didn't shake my hand, and I kind of laughed, and I was like, okay, I don't care. I walked away. And the public started telling him a new asshole, like in the comments and everything. And I was like, hey man, he did it to himself. He did it to himself. But some people are different. I think, but at the same time, I think I also think he's young, and I think it's part of his showmanship act. So listen, I think people should take it easy on him a little bit. I mean, he got what he got, and that's that. He's a good fighter, and I hope that he makes his way back up and still continues to do great in the sport.
No, that's right. I think some fighters have to take that role of villain, just to kind of drive more sales and more eyes to the sport.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Question here for those of boxing says, did Top Rank not offer you another fight after that upset?
Yeah, man. So they didn't want to resign me. Apparently, okay, this is the fucking most hilarious part, man. The most hilarious part is they said that fight wasn't. They told me that the fight wasn't exciting enough. I'm like, what? Like, if you look up right now at any of the views that like that, they continue to share it even today. I saw them reshare it a few weeks ago. It got like 40, 30 million views each time they shared it. It's absurd that they would ever say that. So, I mean, I think they realized that I was getting too much attention and I'm a problem for the contenders at lightweight that they had, that they, wanna, boxing is a business and I'm a problem for their business. So they said, okay, well, kid, thanks for that. Now get the hell out of here. Yeah, and it kind of pissed me off, because I always wanted to be with them ever since I was a kid because Marquez was with them, Pacquiao was with them. But it is what it is, boxing is a business, and apparently that's yeah, it wasn't exciting enough. The fight. It's like, okay, when I put on a boxing performance, that's not exciting enough. When I knock a guy down 3 times in spectacular fashion, you know, like I guess that's not good enough either. So
So what
you're
can you
not gonna
do?
fucking please everybody. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I just try to be myself and do what I can.
Absolutely. And this Western says not exciting enough, but they share it once a week, laughing my fucking ass off.
Exactly.
Then we got Kanye from K-Rod says, yo, what's up? Puerto Rico, Mexico. Said, what's up, Gio? You did amazing against Pitbull. You whipped him. And that kind of leads me to some other comments that we had. We had the Sports and Student says, we need to get Gio Mo Boxing No Problem shirt. I think he also said Gio got robbed versus Pitbull. And then MC Sports Show says getting robbed is an understatement regardless of what BoxRec says. He beat Pitbull fair and square. So that leads me to my next question. You lost a split decision in your most recent fight against, Pitbull Cruz.
Oh,
Have you rewatched that fight since, and do you still feel like you won and should have got the
I
decision?
have watched it 1,000 times, and every time that I watch it, I'm more and more convinced. Look, they waited a whole month before they even released the highlights that is clearly in favor of PBC. All the way leading up until the fight, man, in the media, in the interviews, in the press, I was dancing circles around Pitbull. Pitbull can only say 1 or 2, 3 words, could barely put a sentence together, and I was being nice to the man. If I wanted to, I could have ripped him apart, man. If my dog was as ugly as Pitbull Cruz, I would shave his ass and tell him to walk backwards, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel now. I respected him. I did everything right. I was trying to be humorous, a little funny, but Pitbull is a dirty fighter. He tried headbutting me so many times during the fight. He hit me low. He did everything that he could. Why? Because he got outboxed. Rounds 1 through 4, I outboxed him easily. Rounds 5 through 6, he won. Round 7, I won. 8, 9, 10, he won. 11 and 12, I won. The first 2 judges had the fight right. Now, in the round that they took away the point, they scored it a 9-9 round, which was bullshit. And I did knock him down, and they didn't score the knockdown, which was bullshit. Had they counted and been fair, I won the fight on both of those judges' scorecards, And, Pitbull's a good fighter, but you know what? They try to sell him as the Mike Tyson of boxing. Come on, man. He hit me with his best shots. It didn't even fucking faze me. So if we're talking about effective aggression, that means that in order for his punches to have been counted for more against mine, they would have had to hurt me. Because they didn't hurt me, they might as well have been the quick skill punches that I was hitting him with. So, it's okay, though. They did everything to minimize my presence leading up to the fight. I mean, this was one of the biggest pay-per-views of all time. Since when does the co-main event not do the press tour? You want to know why? Because Pitbull is a simpleton. That's why. If I would have gotten any traction on that stage with the media, the public would have chosen me because I'm a better fighter, I'm better looking, and I talk better. Where's the competition, But, all the money was invested in him, and that's what we saw, Like, for example, I had Waka Flocka, right? Waka Flocka is a dope-ass rapper of my generation. He walked me out. I don't even know if anyone even realizes that. It was really cool, man. For me, I was like, holy shit, like, this is awesome, like that people are coming around and they're recognizing, hey, like, this kid's got something. He can talk, he can box, he can fight. Like, what more do I have to do, man? Hey, first of all, everyone did not want to fight Pitbull Cruz. Who's lining up? He knocked out Gamboa. You saw what he did against those guys. He didn't do shit against me. He cracked me really good sometimes because I was defensively irresponsible. But I still with my hands down in the middle of the ring. Like, Vegas had the odds ridiculously in his favor. So it's like, shit, man, I'm still here. I didn't lose any stock, man. I did not lose any stock. And I would love the rematch, man. This time, man, I saw, part of me respected him far too greatly in the fight, because of his reputation. Everyone's saying he's Mike Tyson. Even Mike Tyson saying he's Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, all due respect, he is a legend, but he's just being nice, man. He likes to give people inspiration, and that's that. Yep. If anyone still, I don't know anyone who still believes that he's a Mike Tyson, or if he is, then I'm Jake LaMotta, right? I got the steel chin that movies are made of, that Rocky is made of.
100%. And Dose Boxing says, are you currently signed to Premier Boxing Champions, or are you a free agent?
I'm a free agent.
A free agent. And then Gio says, K-Rod says, Gio, do you plan on moving up in weight to get big fights up there? I think 140 would be more interesting with you in the division, or is 135 good for you to make weight?
Look, 135, I've always dreamed of being lightweight champion. It was always my dream to be lightweight champion of the world. Like, growing up, or like when I started as a pro, I was still this size making 130. I was murdering myself in the sauna. My old trainers and managers said, hey, well, while you're young, you should make the weight. Maybe, but I also thought, maybe I would have gotten more knockouts if I wasn't so weight drained, because there was times where I was close to death in those saunas making that weight. I'll walk around like 152, 153, 2 days before the fight, go in the sauna and get down to 130. People talk
Mm.
about it now. Like I didn't know how ridiculous and crazy that sounds, but back then that shit was normal to me. You know? So
Mm-hmm.
maybe if I hadn't been so weight drained, I would have got slightly a little bit more knockouts. But one thing to take into consideration is that I beat more undefeated fighters than anybody coming up in boxing. You know, I think the only other guy in history that had the similar was like Stephen Fulton. You know, I think he had like 7 as well, but I had no idea that he had that. But like seriously, like nobody had my fucking resume growing up. If you look at any fighter, pick your favorite fighter, look at his 20, 30 fights. They're all a bunch of guys who have been knocked out like 10 times, you know. I every time fought undefeated fighters similar to my record at the time when it mattered, when like that's a big gamble, you know, and that
Yeah.
counts for a lot. So yeah, man, you know, like I paid my dues, man. I just want big fights. I want Pitbull to give me that rematch. You know, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. But I have a couple of fights coming up. I have a fight coming up. I don't really know all the details yet. I'm still working that out with my manager, but it's going to be in San Antonio, Texas, in November, December. So we're still working that out. I don't know all the details about that yet, but I'm getting right back into it.
All right. And then speaking of potential future fights, we got a comment here from Elda Boxing. It says, "What's good? Is a Frank Martin fight realistic since you share the same management team as Spence Martin's promoter?"
I man, I mean, like if the money is right and it advances me towards a world title, I'll fight anybody, man. I mean, but if it's up to me, like strategically, I would want someone that puts me in that next. You know, I mean, I think I'm ready. I mean, if the whole public thinks that Pitbull Cruz was ready to fight Gervonta, then I'm definitely equipped to beat anybody in that division. You know. And the thing is, now I have the mental security knowing. I mean, look, me respecting him too much because of his clout or because of his reputation, because what he did to fighters like Gamboa and other people, knocking them out, and the close fight that he had with Gervonta, only makes me realize that I am one of the strongest boxers in boxing in the lightweight division. But it's everything is mental in boxing, and for me to believe that will change it. Like I believed I was stronger than Gabriel Florence, so I gave them the whooping of his life. You know what I mean? But for me, mentally being a little, against a guy like Pitbull, that kind of, made me hesitate. But no longer. Later in the fight, when I took his butt punches and I realized that I wasn't going anywhere, I'm like, man, this guy is not. I'm not going anywhere. Time to go forward, and that's what I
Mm-hmm.
started to do. I went forward. I started backing him up, and I started hurting him. And by the end of the fight, he was the one that didn't want to be in the ring.
Facts. Dose of Boxing says Virgil undercard in December. Now we fire. And then Sports and Soon says Gio versus Ryan Garcia, top dollar.
Oh man, I'll whoop Brian Garcia.
Next question I got for you, Gio. Who has been the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with, either in sparring or in a pro fight?
Hardest puncher that I've been in the ring with. Probably well, the only guy that really has like hurt me in a while, that hurt my ribs, was Stanionis.
Mm,
Yeah, Stanionis.
yeah,
He's a welterweight champion. You know, he's got
yeah.
that.
I think.
Um, yeah, he's got that shell, and I was boxing him. I was giving him good work, but man, that guy's got he's got some thunder in his body shot. So like I remember like a couple of days later, it was sparring again, and the guy barely hit me with something in the body. I was like, oh shit, wait, nah, something's wrong, man. My rib is hurt from that guy. So yeah. But
That's,
besides that, I think Manny Pacquiao. I mean, Manny Pacquiao, like his punches were just like crisp, solid. Like, well, I don't know, we say in Spanish, secos. Just kind of
mm-hmm.
well placed. And for some reason, they have like a different kind of sting.
And I think we know the answer to the next question. Who was your favorite boxer growing up?
Pacquiao, man. Obviously, Pacquiao was, but and then later after Manny Pacquiao, when I started getting into the history of boxing, really, I loved Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker versus Chavez, like one of the greatest fights. I love his style because for me, I love southpaws because I was a southpaw myself. So those were the guys that I studied. And growing up on the south side, like for me, the best fighters were the African American fighters, and they were always had like slicker boxing, and I always kind of tried to emulate that a little bit. Um, but my real favorite of all time is Muhammad Ali. I mean, there could be no comparison. Like in and out of the ring, the guy transcended boxing, was a political activist, almost singly changed the political tide of the Vietnam War. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes on and on to the incredible things that he did. So, like, if there's anyone to look up into boxing, definitely Ali, greatest.
Yeah. And now, present day, who do you consider to be the number one pound for pound fighter?
Canelo
Canelo.
Alvarez. Yeah, I mean, like his historic rise is just amazing. Like he did the same thing what Floyd Mayweather was able to do, but like to take the clout from Oscar De La Hoya and trick the world to say he's the pay-per-view king is exactly what Canelo was able to do after the fight with Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
He became the guy. He became the guy by saying, "Hey, like you see the numbers that I did? Well, that was Floyd, right? He never had those numbers before Floyd, but then he was able to do that and became the face of boxing." But just the balls that he has, man, the technique, the defense that he was able to do after the Floyd fight was just like an evolution of a fighter that really will withstand the test of time. Multiple weight classes, like, come on, man, what's not to like? He fought I think the best that he could. Like, who the hell would fight Triple G 3 times? Like, only a psychopath. Like, he fought Bivol. Like, he has no business being up there with those big guys like that. But hey, he did it because he's not afraid and he knows that he's got a chance. So I think, pound for pound, it's got to be Canelo.
Yep. And that Kovalev fight with the way he finished that fight with the knockout.
Insane, man. Insane.
Insane.
Like Kovalev beat Andre Ward once, right? So
not officially, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The first fight, Kovalev should have won that one. Yeah. For the next segment, Gio, I want to ask you about some confirmed or rumor matchups. You want to know who you think will win. If it's too close to call, you can say 50-50, or if you rather not answer, you can always pass. The first one we'll ask you about is the upcoming main event on September 30th, Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. How do you see that one playing out?
Oh, man, I think Canelo, man. Canelo's just too good, man. But Charlo's definitely got the chance, man. But I mean, Canelo's been at the highest of the levels for such a long time, and I think he's coming back down in weight. I think he's pissed off, that he lost the last one, and I mean, I think they could. I don't know what their true reasons are for that fight not happening sooner, but like, how is it in Canelo's interest to take it now? I mean, he's still the older fighter, So I mean, I really think he just defense is better. Everything is better, basically, to me. His creativity and combinations. I think Canelo's got this.
And then Dos Boxing wants to know your opinion on Ugas versus Barrios on that card.
Well, I think it just depends, man. Barrios shows up, you can give him a hell of a fight, but Ugas is just. Yeah, I mean, he knows how to use his reach. He's got good defense. He's got a nice high guard. You saw how he fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao of old is still Manny Pacquiao. Trust me. I mean, I've been in the ring with him. He is fucking awesome still. So, I mean, just the fact that, he was able to make that such a safe, easy fight. I mean, I can't really see, with all due respect to Barrios, I just don't see him having the footwork or, like, the head movement that Manny had, even at that age. So.
Yeah, and then Dos Boxing says Thurman found that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Sure. And then City Boxing says, did you feel like you should have did more in the Pitbull Cruz fight?
Yeah, man. I felt like, every punch that he hit me with that was a good ass punch, I was like, damn, he got me. I was like, I don't know if I could take another one of those. Not because it actually hurt. I think I just got lucky. Like, why am I not feeling it? In a couple rounds after that, I was like, damn, nothing's happening. Go forward, you asshole. Then I started to go forward, and I think took control of the later rounds. And yeah, I think I had him backing up, breathing heavy. I didn't think he wanted to fight anymore. I think it was clear from his body language. I think Chavez even said, "Yo, Pitbull has to win this round," and I won the round. So hey, I felt like I just respected him too much, and I should have gone and I should have pressed him forward because I'm the bigger and stronger guy actually. But it's all about experience, and those guys had more experience than me. I'm still learning a lot. I'm still getting way better. That's the crazy part, man. Like, Pitbull is as good as he's gonna get. You can the perfect fucking metaphor is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm not a dog, man. I'm a gentleman, and I'm el cabron. So I'm still learning, man. I'm still getting more and more badass. I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
All right. Next fight, I want your prediction on. This one is just rumored, hypothetical. Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis.
I think Shakur wins the fight. I think Shakur is the best skilled boxer. I think he's got the best jab. I think he can stay away. He's got the best footwork. I think like, if you saw like the Rolly fight, whatever you want to say about Rolly's skill level versus Gervonta, he was able to keep distance just on his size alone. He was keeping distance and winning that fight. I really think so, or it was very close, And Shakur is smart enough not to jump in like that. I think his feet are wide enough. He's got that high kind of like jab thing that he does, always touching, unless Gervonta trains to come forward and throw a lot of punches. But I think like his style has changed more into a counter puncher because he does have that one.
All right, I think Gio got a call coming in. He'll shoot you back shortly. It's Gervonta, give him a call. Just kidding. You back, Gio? We lost him. All right, so we'll see if he comes back. We had a few more questions for him, but we'll just stand tight, see if he joins again. Oh, yep, there he is. Let me add him back.
Yo,
Gio.
Yeah, my bad, man. I had an incoming call. Let me just set this right now for a second. So do not disturb. But yeah, man, like Gervonta is the most dangerous puncher in the division. Like I think I could outbox Gervonta fucking pretty damn good. But if I'm foolish enough to get caught lacking, I need to work on my defense because he could knock out anybody in the lightweight division. That's just being realistic. But my style, my unorthodoxness, my unpredictability with my punches, I think I could give him fits if I stayed on the outside. For me, he's too slow on his feet. That's why I think Shakur is the best one. Shakur is, just he's got the trick. He spars Terrence Crawford all the time. But for a guy to beat Shakur, you got to go in and you got to fucking maul his ass. You got to throw a shitload of punches, and I think you got to get him off his rhythm. If you let him set his tempo and be nice and relaxed, Shakur's gonna win.
Well said. And then the final fight I want to ask you about, both these fighters can actually be future opponents for you. It's in the lightweight division. William Camarón Cepeda versus Raymond Danger Murataya. How do you see that one playing out?
Oh, that's a great fight, man. Either guy can hurt each other. That's a 50-50, man. But yeah, Cepeda he's proven himself to be a badass dude. He going toe to toe with anybody, he gives anybody problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And extra in here from Dosa Boxing wants to know Shakur versus Vaquero. You got Shakur for that one too, or
that's actually a great fight. That's a great fight because Vaquero is like pressure style, and his awkwardness and the volume of his punches aren't that hard, but they're enough to exhaust you, and that's the kind of volume that we're talking about like what I think it takes to beat Shakur is that precise style because just banking on one punch with Shakur, I mean, if you're trying to pot shot with him, you're gonna lose that battle, But if you're in there making him comfortable, take him out of his rhythm and throwing the punches, I think that's really the only way to offset him. And make them, breathe heavy and just make them uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Coming back to you, Gio, what do you like to do outside of boxing? What are some of your interests and hobbies?
Oh man, I like to. Well, shit, look, I'm not gonna play nothing for you right now, but I just bought this electric
Ooh,
guitar here. So
nice.
yeah, I'm getting some lessons. So don't worry, man. Once I get good, you'll be invited to my first concert.
Appreciate that. It does watch stand-up comedy. That's something like to
Man,
teach you.
I love to go watch stand up, man. I love stand up. Like for me, like comedians are fucking hilarious. They're like the critics. They're like the last line of defense for truth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what government says, no matter what's going on, like it's so serious. Like especially in boxing, I'm like, come on, man. We gotta talk our shit and we gotta tell the truth and we gotta make fun of these motherfuckers because they're the only like it's like Ali said when I want to get paid, you're my oppressor. When I want to get a fair fight, you're my enemy. So the only thing that we can do is, bide our time, work our way up and make fun of these fucking guys because at the end of the day, they can't defend themselves against what's funny and the truth. So we got to
Yeah.
talk our shit. That's what I love about comedy, and it's fun, man. I want to I got to see Bill Burr here,
Oh,
which was
nice.
hilarious, man. I got to see like Dane Cook, a lot of these funny guys. I got to see, who else? Who else did I see? Well, I just like going. It's a funny pastime, man. It's a good way to take away from the stress of boxing.
And just watching this, who's your favorite comedian from the OGs and the new generation?
Dave Chappelle, man. Chappelle is the
Yeah,
GOAT.
agreed.
Say this, yeah, man. I grew up watching Chappelle show, man. Like me and my dad. I remember, like I was like in fourth grade. I was still living in Seattle at the time, and I would show up to school. I was like, "Yo, did you guys see the new Chappelle?" Everybody was like, "What?" Except for a few of the black kids and Mexicans. We were like, "Yeah, we knew something that they didn't." Like that shit was the best.
Yeah. And then next question I got for you, Gio. What's the best piece of advice you would give someone who's thinking about going pro and making a career out of boxing?
Like don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to emulate the great fighters that you like because you're never going to be them, but it's always great to be influenced by the greats. Like a lot of people are very safe with their style or want to be very cookie cutter. Like I'm a prime example of like unorthodox works, man. Like, dare to be great, man. If you really want to be a champ, man, believe in yourself and that's like half the battle. Like I fought guys that were bigger, I fought guys with more experience, I fought guys that were stronger, but they did not believe in themselves the way that I did. So like that is the key, man. If you believe it, you can do it. Just match that with your, work ethic, but dream as big as you want, man. Like fucking pick your best fighters, get into the history of boxing, become a student of boxing, and just go deep, man. Give it everything.
Great advice. Final question we got for you, Gio. It's not really a question. It's more so opening up the floor. What's the message you want to send to your fans and supporters watching the interview?
Man, I just want to say thank you for the support, man. I did my best. I can do better. I'm gonna get better. I'm here to stay. I'm a fucking problem for anybody in the lightweight division. If you're rocking with me, follow me on Instagram at Gio Cabrera Boxing. And hey, man, let's get that Pitbull rematch. This time, I will push the fight forward, and I will whoop his. I will knock this man out. I promise this. I want that dog. I want to put that dog to sleep. Let's go.
Let's go. Well,
Y
Gio, thank
arriba
you
León,
so.
Guanajuato. Arriba Chicago, man. All my
Arriba.
people. Let's go.
Nice. Just watch this. Good luck, Gio. Looking forward to your next fight, brother.
Appreciate you, my bro.
As we can't wait to see you level up and continue to get the big fights. And again, Gio, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate you, my brother.
All right, we'll be in touch, man. Thanks so much, Gio.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care. Bye.